Hello, my name is Caleb Lipnicki, and I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. My parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, and my father's father was a Jehovah's Witness, so I have a lot of history with the organization. I was baptized at 16, I became a ministerial servant at 19, I was asked to serve as an elder at 24, and over my time serving as an elder, I was involved in various activities. I was the coordinator of the body of elders in Midnapore for 4 years. I gave many assembly talks, was involved in many assembly departments, including as an overseer, and I was assistant overseer on regional convention departments as well. But January of this year, I resigned from serving as an elder. I stopped going to meetings, and I stopped participating in the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm making this brief video to just explain why. There's been a lot of rumors going around, so if anyone wants to know from the source, well, I'm telling you what happened. So I'll start just by reading the email I sent to the body of elders in January. It says, "Dear brothers, I am writing to inform you of my decision to resign from serving as an elder. I hope this letter will contain the information you need to process my resignation in line with SFL 836. I am declining to meet to discuss this matter. My reason for resignation is that I no longer wish to serve as an elder. I am not scripturally disqualified, I have not been involved in any wrongdoing, nor have any members of my family. To make things clear, I will no longer be attending meetings or chairing the field ministry from this point forward. I want to make sure that you know that nothing bad has happened in the family. We are all doing well, and we love everyone in the congregation very much. I have lots of good memories of serving, and thank you all for the good times we had, along with your friendship. Love to you all." So that's it. If you've heard rumors beyond that, they're false. That was the official communication that I sent. So I wasn't removed. I wasn't involved in any wrongdoing. Neither was anyone in my family. There was nothing bad going on. We weren't stumbled by someone in the congregation or someone else in another congregation. In fact, we had no problems. We really liked the people in our congregation and the surrounding congregations. No issues there. And we didn't involve ourselves with apostates or read any apostate material. None of that. So what did happen? It's pretty simple. So I took the time to look at the history of the organization for myself. And so that involved reading some of the older publications from the Watchtower and the Bible Students that were never available to me as a Jehovah's Witness. They're not on the app or on the website, but you can find these online on some sites that archive some older books, or you can find the physical copies sometimes. And so I read some of these older publications, and I took a look too at information regarding the founder, Charles Taze Russell, as well as the presidents that followed, and who were they. I also compared what the Watchtower has to say to what science and history say, where the facts are present. I compared to see, well, was the Watchtower being honest or not? And then, of course, finally, maybe most importantly, I took time to read the Bible just for what it is. And I started looking at, a chapter, 2 chapters, 3 chapters, a book of the Bible, saying, I'm just going to read it and then compare what it says to what the Watchtower teaches. And after doing all of that, it became absolutely clear to me that this organization was no different from any other high control religion. So there's no evidence of God's backing, the teachings were contrary to the Bible, and it's just another man-made religion. I was so worried at this point. Like, this blew my mind. And I thought, how am I going to tell my wife? But I don't keep anything from her. So almost right away, I talked to her, like the next day. And I'm trying to say to her, I don't think this is the truth. Like, I know we were taught that, but I really don't think it is. But I thought she's going to say I'm crazy. I might lose my family. Jehovah's Witnesses are taught, like, if someone's saying something bad about the organization, they're an apostate, don't listen to them. So I will always be so grateful that my wife, she did hear me out. When I said that, she did think I was crazy. She said that. But I just told her, take a look for yourself. And if I'm wrong, tell me. But if you agree, then we got to figure out what to do next. And at the same time, I said, I'll go to therapy. Let's make sure I'm not crazy. And so she looked, took a couple weeks, and that was such a hard time for me to wait and see, well, what's going to happen. What's happening with life. It was kind of on hold while I waited to see what she would think as she looked for herself. And then, of course, she came to the same conclusion. She looked, said, yeah, this isn't God's organization. And in fact, it's extremely harmful. So we're thinking, okay, what are we going to do from there? And so, of course, discovering your life has been built on lies, like literally your life. Every decision I'd made was tied to that identity I had as a Jehovah's Witness. The schooling I did, the job I did, the hobbies I chose, recreation, all of it. So to realize that's lies is tough. That's so hard on you mentally. So I knew I didn't want to make any rash decisions. Like, we had to try and cope with this. So we spent the next month or two continuing to talk with the therapist, try to work through the emotions. Where do we go from here? And think, how do we explain this to the kids as well? But in the end, after that time, we really came to the conclusion that, no, we can't sit with dishonest men anymore. We can't do it. So I knew I'm going to stop going to Kingdom Hall. I can't participate in the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, at that point, that feeling that, okay, it's wrong, many don't make that decision. So they decide to sort of keep living the way they had been. They call themselves PIMOs, P-I-M-O, physically in, mentally out. You also might have heard the term fading, or maybe you think of these ones as spiritually weak. Every congregation has some of these ones, it seems, right? Where you just don't understand because, well, why don't they do more for the congregation? Well, a lot of the time, it's because this is what's happened. They know it's not the truth, but they're afraid of the consequences of leaving. And I don't want to judge anyone for the decisions they've made. Please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not judging ones who are unable to leave. A lot is at stake when you leave the organization, so I get it. But for me, I couldn't do it. I thought, that's not an honest way to live. I want to live honestly. I can't do it. So that's when, we made that decision, sent that email, and then from there, we became inactive publishers, right? Well, 3 months later. So my hope was, after sending that email for a time, things could just be calm, we could adjust. We're trying to live in a world that we were raised to think is wicked. This is Satan's world, and it's cold and harsh, and so we're trying to navigate all of that. So I thought, hopefully things can just be calm for a bit. Sadly, that's not how things worked out. So actually, the very night that I sent that email, it was a Sunday, that very night, the elders began to act. And they acted contrary to the instructions they have in the Shepherd the Flock of God textbook they use. They acted contrary to what the Bible says, and they even acted contrary to human decency. So unfortunately, we weren't able to have that calm. Things got pretty messy afterwards. Maybe down the line, if anyone wants to know, I'll make another video talking about what happened. But for now, that's all I want to say. Just what happened. It's simple. If you're worried about us and you've been too afraid to ask, family's doing great. We're actually a lot closer now. We have so much more time together. We're calmer. I feel I'm a better husband. We're better parents. Family's close. And we're really optimistic about the future. So don't worry about us. And yeah, I think that's all for now. So thanks so much. Bye for now.